Well, before kick-off, there will be a period of reflection for lives lost within the rugby community during the summer. They include the Wales international Peter Morgan, who has died at the age of 65. Morgan, a British and Irish Lion and a favourite in these parts, having been the Llanelli captain when they beat the Touring Wallabies in 1984. Now, Morgan went on in later life to become a prominent figure in local politics, and he served as a councillor in Pembrokeshire.
But I ask you please to stand if you are able. Sefyll os gwelwch yn dda. Since the end of last season, we have sadly lost a number of former players and administrators. Peter Morgan, Scarlets, Wales and British Lions, a true man of Pembrokeshire. Two great fly halves, Freddie Bevan and Di Geely. Also Richard Jones and Terry Davis. Former President Arlene Bowen-Thomas, former Secretary Ken Parfitt, and Coach and Administrator John Bradshaw. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all the family members mentioned today. So please, could you give a big round of applause for the names mentioned? Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Samson Lee, we saw there among those in the stands today. Also here we got a VIP guest list of former players from Llanelli and the Scarlets. 39 of them. I'm sure we might see a few of them over the course of the afternoon. The likes of Nigel Davis, Gareth Jenkins, Aaron Shingler, Colin Stevens here to see his lad. And there's a debut on the pitch for a referee, at least in terms of the URC. It's that man, Chris Allison from South Africa. He recently took charge of one of the Currie Cup semi-finals at home in South Africa, but now is carrying the whistle for the first time in the United Rugby Championship. It will be Callum Sheedy. So good last week, particularly in that opening half hour against Zebra Palmer. Well, cooperation between the two Wales 10s. What a catch that was from Tom Rogers. Oh, and it's there for Max Page. Page, well, it was a blistering appearance last week, and he scored in a matter of seconds here. Now, well, the count is probably about 19 seconds. Bit of juggling of the ball. We've got one or two frank chats between players. Well, it's all happened in the first half minute, Thomas.
I mean, they tried a little sneaky kickoff, but there was no cover there. Cam Winnett was a little bit too far behind. Tom Rogers takes it absolutely cleanly. A little bit of luck to be able to get that ball into Max Page's hands, but what a start for the Scarlets. Did not see that coming.
That's exactly what the coaches want to see, though, isn't it? That urgency. If there's a gap to go, take it. Take every chance you can.
Oh, I say, what a start to a derby.
Frank Spencer next to me then, eh? I tell you though, if you are going to kick like that, there has to be like a backup plan. You have to have a cover just in case someone does take it. It's a great leap there by Tom Rogers. Goes over the top of Teddy Williams. You can see Cam Winnett a little bit late there, tries to charge it down, goes off his head. Straight into Max Page, man of the moment.
Yeah, whenever you chase upon a kick, you always almost want that diamond formation, don't you? Head of the diamond goes on the ball, and then there's players to the left, the right, and key behind, so you can field any players or any spillage of ball.
Well, if you didn't know Max Page at 5:15 this afternoon, you did by 16 minutes past 5. Great showing from him last week in Treviso. We featured him in our run up to the game, and right on cue, he hasn't let us down. There is Gareth Davies. Best part of 2 decades as a Scarlet. That time, can win it. Will be keen to atone. He won't have known much about that one. Ricocheting off his hands and his face. Here's Alec Davies, one of those new boys back there at Cardiff. Knows these parts so well, of course. There's Ben Thomas, oh, great hands, and there's Stevens popping up. That touch, though, a little, not heavy-handed, but heavy-footed.
It was a very harsh angle on that kick. That was hard to try and keep that in field.
Keep the line, Cardiff.
We're just seeing the superstar running in his try again. What a start to the season he's
On
having.
the line, Cardiff.
The conditions are quite magnificent. The pitch, without a blemish, barely a breath of wind, and 1 or 2 clouds in the sky, but no real indication there might be any rain. Well, that is obstruction. I know that the referees are pretty hot on that. You might have heard that from Chris Allison, just saying there's a bit of blocking.
As Ewan Stevens just trying to shield Cam Winnett a little bit to try and take it cleanly. Look,
Shot called.
and Cam Winnett runs into him. It's accidental, but it is blocking.
Accidental? Accidental?
Well, he doesn't know Cam Winnett's going to run into him. He sort of shielded him a little bit. Doesn't think that Cam Winnett's then going to catch it and take it straight into him.
In all fairness, it's all part of the defensive patterns that players are encouraged to do, but every now and again they take 1 or 2 liberties, and
Yeah,
that
it's
was
big now.
that was a case in point, wasn't it?
You watch when up and unders and box kicks are put up, especially the backs do everything they can just to make it difficult for the chasers.
So Sam Costelow back in good health.
Thanks for that.
He was a bit under the weather last week, and he's made it 2 from 2. Perhaps no great surprise that Sam Costelow is doing the place kicking today. But Ioan Lloyd didn't do much wrong in Italy last week, did he?
No, I mean, Ioan Lloyd was down to play at 12 last week, but because of the illness to Sam Costelow, he ended up starting at 10. It would have been nice to see him have a little run at 12 to see what he can do. That's a very good start from the Scarlets. Just now Cardiff have to try and take a little bit of wind out of the sail of the Scarlets, just trying to calm them down a little bit, try and get themselves into this game.
There is Alec Hepburn, who was originally down to start at 17 today, but Kemsley Mathias hurt himself in warm-up, so Hepburn on debut starts. There's Davis with a kick. Catch from Winnett. On there to Callum Sheedy. Ewan Stevens, who we saw just how quickly he is off the mark last week. Nice little step from Thomas. Bear in mind Ben Thomas wearing 12 today when it's been turned over. Fantastic work there from Josh McLeod onto Plumtree. Plumtree puts his foot on it. Can't win it, getting spun around. And the penalty going against Cardiff.
Cardiff are under so much pressure on this. Really good defensive set. Earlier we saw Max Page flying up out of the line, really hustling the Cardiff backs.
It's a really good turnover there, right on it there, Josh McLeod. I just think Cam Winnett has a bit of time there to hit Ewan Stevens. You can see him there in shot. Doesn't do it. And then Cardiff give a penalty away. I think you've got to go for posts. I like the call. I like it. It's positive. It is positive.
They're feeding off the crowd, aren't they? The crowd are so loud here. They've got the momentum. They want to try and capitalise on it.
Ryan Elias, who had half an hour off the bench last week in Treviso. The catch there from one of the new boys. That's Max Douglas, the Australian. Now, can they get the choreography right here. It's there for Davies. On to Hepburn. Davies once more at speed. That was Alex Craig, who was one of the success stories last year for the Scarlets. Ascending in the battering rams here, trying to knock holes in this Cardiff defence. Elias has another crack at it. There you can see in the shadow of the post. Nothing subtle about this. We'll see how effective it proves to be.
Hands in.
Well, hands in the ruck.
Well, it was positive to go for the lineup, but it only works if you come away with some sort of points there. They had 3 points on offer. I just feel they've got to build a score, the Scarlets.
Time off.
Hey, good boys, good.
Put the ball down there, on the mark, thanks.
Well, let's listen in here to Chris Allison. He's going for some advice, I think, to the touchline.
Okay, we'll sort that out. Get some bus. Cool.
It's Liam Belcher there winning penalty for Cardiff.
Actually, just going to check up there on the well-being of Callum Sheedy, who's clearly taken quite a nasty blow to just beneath his left eye.
It's like a boxer in the corner there.
Captain.
Trying to stop the blood. They want him back on the field as soon as possible. So important to him last week.
Okay, guys, he's had a minute.
Well,
he's
to
had a minute. We need a
continue
kicker. Let's go.
boxing analogy, Cardiff have had to pick
He has
themselves
1
up off the
minute.
canvas a
It's
couple of
already
times
done.
already
Time
in
back
the early exchanges. Chance now to draw breath. Touch miss though. That's basic stuff from Cardiff.
Last feet, last feet.
That time it was Jarrod Taylor. Taylor, one of the scorers last week in Italy. There's Gareth Davies with a dummy. Then he looks for the offload. He had Costelow there, but he couldn't find him. Here goes Elias taking on Josh McNally. That's the Cardiff 22 you can see there. There's Macleod onto Hepburn once more. Elias rather taking that at a standstill. Well, there's Costelow. Well, I suppose you do have to wonder a little bit about the decision making when you consider he had a chance at a shot at goal just 2 or 3 minutes ago that was rather easier than that.
Yeah, I didn't mind them going for the line out. I thought they had the momentum, they had the confidence, but I'm not sure about that drop goal. I think that's a wasted bit of possession.
Goal, 22, let's go.
So 9 minutes gone, the Scarlets have a 10-point lead. Bear in mind, the Scarlets beat Cardiff last season, home and away. There's Johnny Williams, another player who will be keen to be in the eye of Warren Gatland, who was here at the Scarlets earlier this week. Callum Sheedy, oh, he lost it there, Ray Lilo. Rather got in the way, it's gone forward. So the referee playing a knock-on advantage to the Scarlets. There's Plumtree just popping the ball up. That was for Henry Thomas. Thomas, who spent the last 3 seasons playing in France for both Montpellier and Castres. Here's Ioan Lloyd. Good tackle around the bootlaces from Dan Thomas. Costelow once more on there to Williams. Chance to run perhaps for Blair Murray. We saw how nimble he was last week. Davies. Alex Craig, a powerful surge. They're within 5 metres once more of the Scarlets. Just one more surge perhaps, and Max Douglas. How close he must have been to the line. It's still there. Ball being presented by Henry Thomas. Gareth Davies just issuing the signals. It goes to Williams. Long pass from Costelow. Taine Plumtree allows it to bounce. And the Wales international picks up the Scarlets' second try. There's only one side in it at the moment.
There's a clear ploy at the moment for the up and unders to be put on Ewan Stevens, just trying to get Tom Rogers up there. This is what gains them the territory in possession. That was a great run by Alex Craig. Such a good player for the Scarlets, was so good last year. Then they set themselves up really good. Doesn't matter that the pass doesn't go to hand. They know where the space is. Taine Plumtree does really well just to keep that width. It's so important if you want to stretch teams that you have players in those wide channels to stretch defenders. And it's good communication there. They knew where the space was. Didn't matter if the ball went to ground. Just mattered that the ball got out there. Good composure there from the Scarlets.
So 15 points with a conversion to come. And we have yet to reach the 12-minute mark. Costelow. Straight pull with that one.
I think worrying for the Cardiff defence here is the fact how quickly they were shortened. You know, Scarlets really didn't have to work too hard to create that overlap.
Well, Cardiff have barely had the ball in their hands. Gareth Davies just slipping on the pristine surface.
A big moment now for Cardiff. I think it might be their first real attacking lineup they've got deep inside Scarlet's half. They're going to have to do something now.
Despite finishing one place ahead of the Scarlets last season, Cardiff actually won one fewer games. Just 9 wins between them. There's Jarrod Davies, Thomas. Davies once more.
You're off now?
Ben Thomas. From there to Domachowski. Oh, great running line there from Lilo. It was an important tackle from Johnny Williams.
Advantage.
But they've lost possession. The referee playing an advantage here to the Scarlets. Costelow considers the options.
Stop. Yes.
I think that was deliberately off the outside of the boot. Can win it with options.
Work back.
Went the aerial route rather than the
Exactly
cross-pitch
the same.
route. I did see Tom Shanklin pointing to the left-hand touch, which
Go on,
looked
stand in
like a
front of
good
the
option.
catcher.
There's a lot of space there, wasn't there?
Yeah, it did. There was a lot of
Stationary.
space there. He went to the air.
Blocking
This is
the
that
catch.
half break by Lilo. Really good angle. Gets him on the dummy run, but then he's just trying to offload to Alec Davies, who was marked. At least it was a good passenger play there for Cardiff. Got themselves into the game. A couple of big hit-ups. It was something they needed, but I have to say it's good line speed from the Scarlets.
A good passage of
stay
play.
there.
It was a passage of play, wasn't it, Philippa?
Yeah, it was their only bit of possession, wasn't it? Look, Ray Lilo then, he got turtled, so he got put onto his back, so he's in a prime position to have that ball stolen from him, so that was why he was so desperate to try and flick that ball away, but it didn't work.
Teddy Williams with the catch in the line out.
Once.
Look at Taine Plumtree there, just making a bit of a nuisance
Let's
of
go now.
himself.
Use it now.
Referee urging Cardiff to use it. As Ben Thomas, Lilo, Williams again with the tackle
The
for
ball
the
is clearly
Scarlets.
available.
It's Ben Donnell that time. Here's Jarrod Davies once more. 15 minutes gone, 15 points to 0. Win it, floats it over the top. Chance to run perhaps there for Stevens, but he was well marked out of it by Tom Rogers. And look at the Scarlets applying the pressure, and they've turned it. But there was just a little bit of a knock on,
So
but the
first knock on is
timing
from
there
Blue,
from the
and then we had
Scarlets
one
was
from Red.
pretty much spot on.
They're not really putting too many people into the rucks at the moment. They're
Knock
spreading
on
the
Blue
field,
first.
so when Cardiff look
Play
up,
from Red.
they've got a
Red
disadvantage.
ball.
There's more defenders and attackers on their feet. And then it's just about line speed. Having the confidence to come up, work in pairs, hunt in pairs.
Time off.
They just knock Cardiff back
What's wrong?
10 yards.
What's wrong?
We've seen 15 minutes from the Scarlets today, which we didn't see all last season. Is that a fair comment?
It's a harsh comment. I'm just trying to wrap my brains now of some of the Scarlets games they played. But look, they look good. There's a physical edge to them. There's an intensity there, as we saw last night with the Dragons. You know, there seems to be a bit of a change of mindset maybe. It's the start of the season. All teams are still in it. And they've come out for this first 15 minutes. They come out firing.
But we came here many times last season. We saw them win here against Cardiff relatively early on in the season because of the delayed start. It was in November, I think. Then I think we had to wait all the way until that 82nd or 83rd minute try in this bottom right-hand corner when they beat Benetton. You'd almost come here week in, week out and rather anticipating the Scarlets wouldn't win. But if we now look, we've got certainly one game, that performance last week where perhaps, well, certainly they could have won, perhaps should have won in Treviso, and now here the first 15 minutes. Now I know one swallow or perhaps two swallows doesn't make a summer, but this is a very different Scarlet side.
Bind! Sit!
So Gareth Davies, 50 league tries at this level to his name, level with Andrew Trimble, one of the greats of the URC. There's Tom Rogers.
Pulls out.
Davies getting caught by Thomas. Beware Thomas on the fringes. Hardly ever has a bad game. Perhaps it was a little bit surprising that Bristol released him during the summer. But Bristol's loss has been very much Cardiff's game. Davies hoists it once more. Rogers is after it. Stevens, great catch.
Much better take. They've struggled in the air so far, Cardiff.
Here's Ben Thomas. Just weighing up the options. There's the offload. Oh, that's fine stuff. Excellent here from Cardiff.
No hands now! 1 inch offside.
Davies just presenting the ball. Referee playing an offside advantage.
13 offside, never
Well,
onside.
it's taken them almost 17 minutes, but Mason Grady involved in that, among others.
Watch this change of tempo now from Ben Thomas. Look, he slows down and then he pulls away. That's what created that opportunity. Subtle bit of footwork and that change in tempo. He didn't panic and just try and run it in and, you know, carry it, set it up. He was constantly looking, how can I create, how can I move, how can I bring other players in?
It came from a really good take from Ioan Stevens, which they haven't had so far. Most of the kicks the Scarlets have put up, Tom Rogers has been able to, I think, win it back or just do enough to make Cardiff drop the ball. That time, Ioan Stevens was shielded really well, took it clean, and then Cardiff got into position really well.
Yeah.
So Liam Belcher
Move!
finds Donnell. Donnell wearing 6 this week. Well, this is rather better. They're within 2 or 3 metres now at Cardiff. They're up to the line, and the referee awards the score.
Okay, thank you.
And it is the captain who gets to his feet. Liam Belcher, Mr. Reliable.
Well, as much as Scarlets have very much had the possession, they've had the territory, you can't qualm at Cardiff's conversion rate. They've got into the 22. First time of asking, they've come away with points.
It's important they did something because the game was running away from them in the first 15 minutes. But their first phase play attack, as I said, off a kick return, a half break by Mason Grady. Scarlets give away a penalty, kick to the corner, and a very good line-out drive, something that was good last week for him as well.
Callum Sheedy, bit of ironic applause, not one of his best, but Cardiff are on the board, 15 points to 5.
That secondary drive, just all the Scarlets players splinter. You've got like 6 players on about 3 defenders.
Teddy Williams with the catch.
Still inside, still inside.
Well, Josh McNally had to take evasive action there, rather like
Tackle! Get out one!
an England batsman facing a bouncer from the Australians.
You need to come in from the back, and number 1 was from the side.
Right, Elias there coming in from the side, just couldn't resist.
That's a shortcut.
A high-risk
Both
play
you
there
and
from
number 1.
Cardiff. Trying to get on the outside of that blitz, but you could see the Scarlets players flying in. Johnny Williams makes the last-ditch tackle. Then Ryan Elias just couldn't help it. Gives the penalty away and just relieves a bit of pressure from Cardiff to win the ball back on the 40-metre line.
Absolutely, but I've got to give some kudos to Kesley Matthias there, the timing on his pass. It was a lovely soft pass. That was the creative link in that move.
No material influence.
If that hadn't happened at the time it did.
Use it, 9!
He's either taking it or he's taking his man down straight away.
Okay, release.
Craig once more. Tackle around the bootlaces from Lawrence. Well, Dan Thomas is all over it, and then the hack ahead.
Hovering right behind number 8, Taine Plumtree. You can see him there.
Bind! Wait.
Big blindside as well, isn't there, that Mason Grady is marshalling at the moment.
And that just forces
9
Alec Davies to
behind.
stay on that right-hand
9
side.
behind.
There goes Gareth Davies. Johnny Williams.
And they fluff
Leave
their
it, Craig.
lines.
Leave it.
Well, there it is. It's all too easy for Cardiff. Bit of ambition being shown from the men an hour or so down the M4.
Shows you the importance of winning the contact. You know, Johnny Williams there falls awkwardly, doesn't really get too much front forward ball, ends up on his back, and the ball becomes dislodged.
Use your advantage, 9! Advantage over!
Davis with the clearance. Well, we've arrived at something of a stalemate after what was a madcap opening 20 minutes.
It's a good tackle from Callum Sheedy, just gets right underneath Johnny Williams, gets his shoulder close to the ball, and that's what I mean about winning the contact. Johnny Williams can't win it there.
He's not in control of the way he falls there
No.
at all, is he? And if you're not in control of the way you fall, you can't control your ball placement, and that's where the Cardiff get the turnover.
Williams hard and straight again.
Yeah, that's
Another
better.
tackle for Dan Thomas.
He's running at arms there, he's not running into
Thank you.
big shoulders or bodies.
Costelow with a little chip ahead, but that
Your call,
was
Mike.
into touch.
And that's the difference. You can see how quick the ball is there
Was it
off that attack
It was
from Johnny
touch, so that's
Williams.
the ball. Okay, thank you.
Just
Good
slowed
work,
down a
Mike.
bit, hasn't it, this game? Starting off
Keep the
really
gap.
fast for about 25 minutes. Just quieting down a little bit, a few little mistakes coming in. Not quite as loose as it was.
Move!
Plumtree on there to Elias. Williams once more with another carry. Straight into Callum Sheedy, who's been in the wars so far in this opening half. There goes Blair Murray, one of the new faces with the Scarlets from New Zealand, but he does have a Welsh mother.
Ripped.
Good rip there from
All
Lawrence.
backwards.
Macleod getting his hands in.
Stand 9. Stand behind. Yes, he will.
Both sides coughing up possession a little bit too easily at the moment. There's Dan Thomas, last 4 minutes of this first half.
Take him back.
Sheedy. That is Blair Murray.
Mike, we happy with that tackle? Okay. Okay. It's on the shoulder, so we'll play on for now.
The pirouette from Gareth Davies, the chip over the
Backwards.
top, but it was straight into Donnell, who fumbled it. Getting a little bit scrappy, isn't it?
Yeah, lost a lot of shape there.
For kick.
Didn't really know what to do.
Goes in, it's on the shoulder.
Just goes for a little chip.
Will clear if it's foul.
You can see Tish turning back on himself, sees a bit of space. And what the odds of Gareth Davies scoring a try there on his 250th appearance?
So
It's got to be an intercept, doesn't it? We're about 50 out.
That would be so good, because that's exactly what he's renowned for,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the mark and give that penalty. Got the mark?
It was at the 2019 World Cup, where he pretty much just had that free reign to just shoot up from anywhere. He'd come from 5 metres behind the game line and just shoot up and try and go for those intercepts.
You good to go now? You good to go?
Well, Marius van der Westhuizen has had a word in Chris Allison's ear, and we've seen a high tackle.
Always a big moment around these times.
I'm in the middle
just
right
before
here.
half-time.
Yeah,
a lot of teams do concede. It's a decent enough kick as well by Costelow.
So, Ryan Elias. It's Plumtree once more, but Cardiff starting to read it.
In the line out.
Ball was knocked on though by Cardiff, so the referee is playing
Let's go 9.
the advantage.
9 quicker, please.
Taine Plumtree once more. The last 90 seconds or so, McLeod, bear in mind his first match for 9 months. Craig getting upended. That was quite a tackle. There's Elias. Domachowski hanging on for dear life. Thomas is over it.
Going back, knock on.
But we're going to come back for the knock on.
That's the second huge hit Domachowski's had.
Knock on by Blue in the line out.
Well, maybe Assiratti. He's one of them. It was Assiratti before. This time it might have been Domachowski, but it was big. It was a big stop tackle. You can see him there.
Let me explain this. Captain.
That's not it.
I was playing advantage for a knock on at the lineup. There was a croc roll over there by one of your players, so that's foul play. It trumps the knock on, so it's a penalty against you. By your number 6.
Well, it's a penalty against Jarrod Taylor.
Right here. There you go. Here we go. One minute. Sorry.
I don't think it'd be anything too flash here from Cardiff. They're on their 40-metre line. That's the hit. It was Assiratti. It's the second time he's done that.
So the final play of the first half. Belcher goes to the tail, but it's stolen. And there goes Alex Craig. The Scarlets finishing the half in similar style to the way they started it. What a start he had to the game. Max Page. Here's Elias. Straight into Teddy Williams.
Got it.
Well, Domachowski's turned it.
Yes, stay there.
Ben Thomas stepping into play scrum half. Dan Thomas. Lilo. Grady wants it out wide. Not too much real estate within which to operate for Mason Grady that time, but look at the strength on his feet.
There's a chance he could have had it a little bit early. He gets into heavy traffic, but look at the yards he's made.
Oh, it's gone loose. And then it's knocked on by Josh McNally. Williams. There's Costelow. Oh, Elias had to dive like a slip fielder for that one. Did well to keep the ball alive. Good counter up from Liam Belcher. And eventually
lost forward.
There are a couple of knocks on. The referee blows his whistle for half-time. Well, I think it's probably fair to say that the second 20 minutes, rather the antithesis of the first. 4 early tries, the first 2 to the Scarlets, then the bounce back from Cardiff. It's all to play for in the second half. Scarlets lead Cardiff in the Welsh Derby.
He's only got 4 try bonus points, which shows you there was maybe a little bit of issue with scoring tries last year. The top teams had 11, so that shows you the difference.
Carry forward there from Alun Lawrence.
Last feet.
Davies, the former Saracen. Ewan Stevens getting to it, but I think there were probably at least 3, maybe even 4 knocks on.
It was a very good kick. Kicked well last week. Just the hang time in the air is about 5 seconds. Bit of congestion there.
Quick set, let's go.
Probably say that Scarlets are winning that kicking battle at the moment. They're the ones that get the most reward from the up and unders and the box kicks they're put up.
Philippa, Ben Thomas out there at 12. How frustrated do you think he will be? The very fact he's wearing 12 at the moment. He was the starting fly half for Wales during the summer. I know he's got a team responsibility here, but he must be anxious to impress to keep hold of that 10 jersey for November.
Well, that's if he wants to play 10. I think he actually prefers to play centre or 15. So it was very much Warren Gatland's choice to put him in that 10 fold, and it's very much Mark Sherratt's choice to put him in at the centre. I personally, I think he'll be too stifled in at fly half. I like him having the freedom in that centre position.
You're not going to sign Callum Sheedy and all of a sudden then promote Ben Thomas to 10 either. He can play 10 and he is versatile and you can get away with him at 10, but Cardiff have got Sheedy and Tina Stabir both in that position at 10. Now, if you want to play for Wales at 10 against some of the big teams, against some of the top teams, you have to be playing 10 for your club every single week. It's not a position I don't think that you can just dabble at now and again. And for me, he is a 12. You know, he is by far the best attacking 12 Wales have got in terms of how well he is on the ball, how good he is on the ball, his creation. Maybe not as strong as other defenders, but he's working on that. And if Wales want to score more tries, if Wales want to enhance their attack, I would put him at 12.
Captain, yes, I'll hand it. Call that player, please. Call that player. Number 8.
Do you think there's room for Ben Thomas at 12 for Wales?
I think there is. I think the centre position is a position that no one's really cemented at the moment. There's been so many different combinations.
Thank you.
You end up sticking on Nick Tompkins and George North. George North is obviously injured now, so there's a bit of competition. Johnny Williams, you just see him in shot there. He's had a torrid time with injuries. Every time he gets himself fit and has a run of games, he gets injured again. But it's open. It's open for spots at the moment. And he's a different kind of 12. You know, he's very much more physical, very much more gain line, solid in defence as well.
Let's speed up the game.
And a 12 will tell you how a team's going to play. You know, so if you've got Johnny Williams in, you're going to be more of a gain line team. If you've got Ben Thomas in, you probably might play more expansive rugby.
Plumtree's impressed today. Very athletic, number 8. Gareth Davies. Here is Williams, whose last action for Wales was 70 minutes against Portugal at the World Cup. So we're talking about almost a year ago. There's Alec Hepburn, once of England, now of Scotland. Ioan Lloyd. It is remarkable when you think you've got Henry Thomas there on the tight head side of the front row for the Scarlets. He started his international career with England, has since earned 4 caps for Wales. Better on the other side of the front row, an under-20 world champion with England, an England full international, and now part of Gregor Townsend's plans. There he is, Alec Hepburn, wearing 1. Josh McNally knows every trick in the book. Here is Hepburn.
You had Ioan Lloyd there, just on a little outside break. It was a good setup for a phase play attack from the Scarlets. Put the ball out the back, had Ioan Lloyd then coming on that arc. Callum Sheedy just about got him, but he was looking for that inside ball. And then at the breakdown, was Dan Thomas. And Josh McNally just causing a bit of carnage. There he is, the big lump from Bath. You can't get the ball forward, you can heel it back. Just been an absolute nuisance there.
Hold on, 11 off. Sub, I've requested him. Bring him on. Let's make the change quicker before the
Well, we have an alteration being made. Harry Millard, wearing 23, is coming on.
Let's go.
And off goes Ioan Stevens.
Ioan Stevens doesn't seem injured.
Okay, time back on.
I don't think there's an HIA there. I think it's just a tactical substitution. A lot of high balls have been going up on him, and it's no fault of his own. He's just, someone like Tom Rogers is a bit taller. That's the only thing I can see for that substitution change. Maybe getting someone a little bit taller. Hasn't done much wrong really in the game.
Open your shoulder.
Hasn't really had a chance.
Crouch. Bind. Please. Too many people speaking. Let's go. Work on your timing. Thank you. On your timing. Work on your timing.
That's just going through a little bit of a flat spot.
You can see both sides are kind of trying to force it in the last sort of 10 minutes of the first half, and I think now neither of them, they've probably had a bit of a talking to about not, you know, forcing it. Don't let it get too loose, keep control of it. Still kind of waiting for it to open up really for either team.
It's been a good battle on this side from Keiron Assiratti and Alec Hepburn.
Go 9.
Davis. There's Ben Thomas. Lilo. Good handoff. Bench of the tackle made by Blair Murray. There's Sheedy. Teddy Williams.
You pull back.
Just inside their own half, Cardiff. There's Josh McNally.
Oh, look at Gareth Davies.
Away!
Every pass, he's just desperate to try and intercept it.
Sheedy. Win it. There goes Mason Grady coming off the wing and again showing his strength on his feet, even in contact. Ben Thomas getting wrapped up that time by Jarrod Taylor. Sheedy, that's one to chase. Ioan Lloyd just beaten by the bounce. Millard missed him, Ray Lilo didn't.
Inside.
Referee just stressing that the ball hasn't been taken back in, so oh, look at that from Craig.
Okay, that's taken back now.
There's Jarrod Taylor.
There's your ball.
Jarrod Taylor's an
Take it
interesting
back.
player, very highly rated in South Africa as a youngster. Started out at the Sharks Academy, lost his way a little bit in junior rugby, and then made his Currie Cup debut for Western Province. Dan Thomas, the offload there to Sheedy. Macleod with the tackle. Davies looks up, sees some space. Ball sets up nicely though for Blair Murray. Back to Ioan Lloyd. Well, that was a slice. Options here for Cam Winnett. Ben Thomas. Oh, that was well read by Tom Rogers.
Picks his head up. Alec Davis. Oh, it's slightly high.
Time off.
Momentarily high. It comes back down straight away when he knows what he's done.
Cramp. Yeah, 9 months.
It's 9 months. I love that. Bit of cramp, yeah, 9 months.
I think that's a euphemism for I'm just having a rest, isn't it?
Yeah.
On blue.
At least he's honest.
So right on this mark, so you agree that it was a high tackle?
Well, we are talking about the high tackle now.
So it was on blue by red.
Yeah, I think we're going to go back for a penalty here. Well, we've got a box made up of some of the great and the good from the history of the Scarlets. 39 of them, I think, were on the list. Likes of Nigel Davis, Aaron Shingler from the one of the more recent. Raw Begier's in there. Good old Wales international from the 1970s, wasn't he, I think?
Yeah,
Or was it 80s? Am I aging in?
I hope we can get a shot of Aaron Shingler and Josh Turnbull, because I mean, it might be a bit of drastic weight loss on those two who've just competed in the Ironman in Tembe. That's a huge effort for two big units.
Now the Ironman, that's swimming, cycling, running. Takes you about a day and a half, doesn't it, Tom?
But thanks for the info.
Are you up for it next year?
Absolutely no way,
There
mate.
you go.
I don't know if there's enough time in the day. I'd fail to swim.
Shane Williams is into that, isn't he?
Ambassador of it, I think, now.
He's getting quicker as well.
Belcher finds Josh McNally. Here's Lawrence, gets through the first tackle. They're within 6 metres. Alec Davies, Teddy Williams.
Carnage.
Penalty advantage being played here, so they got the free shot. Which way they're going to go? They're going to go left. Dan Thomas finds Sheedy. Sheedy with a little skip over the top. That was good. And powering his way. Has he got it down? Harry Millard.
Hold up, I'm going back.
Oh, I say.
Number 7, not rolling.
If the grass hadn't been cut this morning, I think he'd have got that down.
He's confident.
Number 7.
Christopher Allison on that. So strong for Millard there. Just a cut back inside. TMO might be just checking this. No, it's held up. There's an arm underneath.
Here's your mark. Here's your mark.
God, he couldn't have done any more there, could he?
There was also
Time is
there, I
on.
think, a suggestion of a high tackle, wasn't there?
Scrum called.
And I'll be worth another look, that one.
So again, 3 points on offer. Cardiff want the scrum.
Remember what I said before the game? We want both sides to be positive.
It's a confident call from Cardiff. Obviously feel they've got a little bit of the upper hand at the moment. But right in the middle of the pitch. Look how much space you've got either side. You need to manipulate 9 here, that's the key. You've got to try and manipulate the defensive 9, which is Gareth Davies.
Height now.
Well, there's Keiron Assiratti up against Alec Hepburn on this side.
Coach!
Wales
Fine.
against former England and now Scotland.
Just
So
the left-hand
Davies with the pudding.
side. Left-hand side is a lot where the space is.
Ball's available, 9. No hands!
Dan Thomas is going to play scrum half here. Onto Donnell.
Well, Scarlets done the first job really well. They disrupted the scrum.
Penalty
There's a right.
advantage.
You dive over and then you play the ball.
was a
What do you
great
do
hustle,
here?
wasn't
You've
it?
got 3
Sorry.
points if you want them, haven't you, Philippa?
Yeah, you certainly have, but, you know, like Tom was saying, it's
Okay, I'll be getting that.
such a tempting place on the field when you've got a centre field scrum and you can
Thank you.
split the defence like that. You've really got to be up against it to take those penalty points. You should be backing yourself with an attacking move.
And you went over.
Ben Donnell down.
I'll go on that side. I'll go on that side.
Taking a knock to the head in that carry. You can see Assiratti there just cradling his neck, checking he's okay.
You want to formally review this? Okay, TMO,
We're just looking at head contact here.
please.
Ben Donnell gets low, so does Elias.
Okay, Marius.
But is Elias going for a wrap? That's what I think they
Yeah.
might be
Yes,
looking
the
for.
arms were
Waiting for you.
were absent, weren't they?
Ooh. Do you know what? That could be a red card. His arm's tucked. He's not looking to wrap.
Yes, I'm seeing
That position is what you're trying to get away from. The arm tucked down, leading with your shoulder.
as well.
I can
Let's
confirm
listen in,
that
shall
there's
we?
direct head contact.
Okay, Marius, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a leading shoulder that makes direct contact on the blue player.
Yeah, just have a look at this angle as well. They're
Okay.
going to show us another one. They're going to show us another one now.
Is there any way we can look at a real speed just to establish the degree of danger?
Yes.
Okay, I see high level of danger. Marius, do you agree with that?
Yeah, we just need to, one last thing, we just need to see if there's any mitigation in this one.
Marius, a blue player does change his direction, but it remains foul play.
That's correct. There is a slight or a change of direction there, and it's really low.
Yeah.
If you want to use that as mitigation.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a change in direction. It remains foul play, and the level of danger, degree of danger is still high. Number 2.
Is there a mitigation?
There is mitigation.
Because he's trying to run.
We're going from red to yellow. Number 2.
Well, Josh Macleod has got an idea
So
about what the
there's a touch
mitigation
shoulder,
is, but it's
foul
very
play,
different
high
to the
degree
view of the
danger, but
referee.
There is a sudden change of direction, so we're going down from red to yellow. Thank you.
Has he got away with one there, Tom?
Yeah,
I'll
massively.
wait.
I'm not sure there's a change of direction at all from Ben Donnell there.
Mate, your team's
He's
over
gone
there.
in, he's got low, but there's no wrap. He's led with the shoulder. Where's the change of direction? There is
Can we
none.
get the water off, please?
And
Sorry,
Ryan
sorry,
Lawrence's
mate. You're slowing
arm
down
was
the game.
always
Can you please
tucked.
take your water? Thank you. Sir, thank you. Thank you. We'll wait for the sub and I'll restart.
I think he's very lucky there, Ryan Elias, not to be red
We know
carded.
the drill. We know the drill. We'll give you a chance. Time is still off.
Consider the impact that could have had for
We've got
Ryan
the player
Elias
that's
and for
going off.
Wales.
It's number
He
6.
came
Good.
off the bench last week. He would have been suspended
mark.
after this. We're getting into that
Time
run
back on.
into
Let's form the scrum.
the November International. So a red card there could have had some fairly significant implications.
It makes the scrum time now that much more appealing for Cardiff. You can see now Scarlets aren't packing down with the number 8.
So we get the enforced change because we've got to have 3 specialist front rowers there. So Marnus Van Der Merwe has come on.
So much space. We'll try and get a wide angle so you can see where the space is.
I'm going to get you both closer now.
Take a step over it, please.
There's your mark. Nothing wrong with the pitch. Mate, I need your elbow up, please.
Jarrod Taylor
You get closer.
is the player who has been sacrificed.
You've got both Cardiff wingers there. You can see him, Harry Millard on the left, Mason Gray on the right, just trying to stretch the defenders. Then we've got 2 players behind, Cam Winnett
Crouch.
and Callum Sheedy, both very good on their feet,
Bind.
very sharp.
Sit.
So the one-man advantage really telling, and the arm is out again from the referee. Out there from Davies, well, it's a poor
7 and 9 is
pass. Ben
offside.
Thomas looks for the cross kick, and that's comfortably taken by Ioan Lloyd, but we're back for another penalty.
Clear collapse. You're not behind the ball. Number 9 is offside, and number 7
Well,
is
there's no
broken his
doubt
line.
here that
It's a
Cardiff
penalty,
have
mate.
to
Get
make
on the
this
line.
count. They have the one-man advantage. There are 3 points there for the taking, which would take them level with the Scarlets.
Okay, take him off.
So it certainly is a crucial period in the match.
It really is. But like, go back to it, the attacking position they're in. If they can't score here, when they know they've got Scarlets up against the wall, when they know Scarlets have got a player drop down, then
Keep on that side. I'm not preoccupied on this side.
yeah, that's not really, for me, that's not really showing much belief in your team.
Well, Ben Donnell has gone off. I think he's gone for a head injury assessment. So Mackenzie Martin, good to see him on his first appearance this season. There he is, one of the outstanding young back row talents in Welsh rugby. At test level, there may be 1 or 2 parts of the 15 where Wales have to dig deep to find international class, but not in the back row.
Sit.
The Mackenzie Martin, the newest part of the generation. It's another penalty advantage. Now, will it work this time? Out to Millard. Well, you would have thought the Scarlets here are in danger of losing a second player.
Yeah.
Lucid, hinging.
If this continues, they will. The scrum again, but it's
Ball down.
Assiratti's side.
Okay, not just in the scrum. Your Lucid's hinging continuously, you can't take the pressure, and we've had multiple penalties over here. So I'd recommend speak to your team, as it might escalate now, so have a word please. We need
So
a
Alec
change player
Hepburn
behind
there
it.
has
Thank
been
you, mate.
penalised for hinging in, which means he's angling in, which means Domachowski loses. Sorry, Keiron Assiratti loses his bind and slips on his front. He wants what he wants is Hepburn to scrum is straight, not angle in.
I'm happy with what I'm seeing.
And now the referee is talking to
and what
Scarlets.
I'm hearing.
Cardiff will not be going for a penalty. They are going to keep pushing, keep putting that pressure on in the
Time back
hope
on.
that they may get another player put in the bin now.
Well, the warning is pretty clear.
So we've
From
now got
Chris
Johnny
Ellison.
Williams in on the scrum as well, which means they are a number down. It's whether Cardiff can realise this.
Crouch!
If you look on that left-hand side, you've got Sam Costelow there, Tom Rogers. That's it.
Well, the arm is out again.
I'm back on
It
offside.
could well be a yellow card, whatever happens here. Millard's after it. Well, that is very comfortable for Tom Rogers. But I think the Scarlets are about to go down to 13 men.
I had a clear word with him hinging.
He's gone down on the spot.
Thank you. It's continuous penalties. You've got the option to scrum
So
again.
Alec
They'll need to
Hepburn,
bring on a replacement.
on his debut for the Scarlets, goes into the sin bin.
Okay, what are we doing?
Well, it's going to be another one, isn't it?
Your replacement on?
So they will
still
have to sacrifice another player. Sam O'Connor, who wasn't in the match day 23 at the start of the day, will now come on. So they must now decide who is the second player who's going to be sacrificed. Jarrod Taylor already.
Well, you can't have 8 in the scrum now because there'd just be too much space everywhere. They'd have to go back to having a blind side and open side, no number 8. And Johnny Williams. Well, who's coming off?
Well, Tom Rogers appears to be coming off, I think.
I just feel there's no point keeping this in the scrum now. You've got one defender on the Scarlets' right-hand side. See him there, Sam Costelow. Look at that. I mean, surely you just want this in and out quickly, score the try, move on, and make use of a 2-man advantage for as long as you can.
Well, this is rugby's equivalent to football's open goal. Scarlets basically without a goalkeeper. It should be 2-on-1. It should be easy here, and indeed it is. And it is Harry Millard who comes in, and that is a collector's item for Harry Millard. He really doesn't score many tries.
It is easy. It's a catch and pass drill. Ball out in front. One of the easiest tries Harry Millard would score, but the Scarlets have done the right thing in forcing Cardiff out wide, which makes the conversion really tough. You know, the easy thing would be to overchase, and Cardiff could step back inside and maybe score close to the post. They don't. They make it hard for them. That conversion is right on the touchline.
More than 4 years since Harry Millard's last league try. So Callum Sheedy, Cardiff in front for the first time in the match. Well, it was a good effort. Remember, this is the man who 3 years ago kicked Wales to victory after coming off the bench against England at the Principality. I rather figure Harry Millard might be watching that time and time again tonight.
We'll bring him on.
He might just turn the sound off. The whole of the Scarlets just booed him.
It wasn't a crowd favourite, was it?
It wasn't.
We've got two different teams now. Cardiff want to put pace and tempo on the ball. Scarlets will do anything they can just to slow it down.
There's Mackenzie Martin. Cardiff have brought on Ellis Bevan, the man who started at scrum half for Wales throughout the summer.
Yeah.
Missed last week because of a hand injury.
That's a penalty.
Well, what about this? They've got 13 men on the pitch at the Scarlets, and they have a chance to go in front.
Don't do that. Sorry, mate.
How fantastic leadership is that?
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, when you're two players down, that's when you need players to be stepping up and playing like there's two people on the field.
That's holding on. What are we doing? Please, mate. Don't do that.
I want to go quicker.
Mate, that's a clear message.
Well, Chris Allison calling Marnus Van Der Merwe mate.
Shot call.
You wouldn't be doing that in Pretoria. Two men who speak the same language.
There you go, Josh Macleod there, getting in, getting the fight on, getting that ball.
Proper poacher, isn't he?
I know what you're doing, but I don't want you to inflame the situation. If they do that, I'll deal with it. Are you happy with that? No, you just leave it. If he holds on to the ball, I'll deal with it.
Big moment that for the Scarlets. They've just conceded a try, straight from the kickoff then. 13 players, and McLeod comes up with a steal like that. It's golden.
Well, what about this? Chance for Sam Costelow to put the Scarlets back in front. They've only got 13 men on the pitch to Cardiff's 15. Oh, he's pushed it wide.
22.
Well,
Here's the ball.
that, in all honesty, is a pretty desperate miss.
Super frustrating for the fans, super frustrating for him. But if anything, it is just wound down that clock a little bit whilst they are two players shy, and they get the possession back here now.
That's high.
Well, the tackle high, the referee playing a penalty advantage. There's Ioan Lloyd. Oh, here he goes again. He's off and running. Then the pass inside. Look at this from the Scarlets. Well, Max Page again making his presence felt for the Scarlets. Costelow off the outside of the boot. And there was a little word in the ear for Blair Murray, who was told he was ahead of the kicker, but we're going to come back here for the penalty.
That's a big advantage. Out of nothing, Max Page makes the break.
Let's trust the process. If it's anything more, the team will.
We'll have a look at that from a different angle. There is a bit of a slip, I think. Let's have a look. We'll have to check that. There is more mitigating factors, I think, in this one than Ryan Elias hit. But I think it could be a yellow.
I do have foul play, but I do see two players involved. So at that stage, I was just on a penalty only.
Let's just go through the process. We do have head contact.
Okay, I see direct head contact.
Yeah. So we've got direct head contact.
Yeah.
So in my view, it's similar than the previous one with a high level of danger. As a mitigation, we have the second tackler involved.
Yes.
And we have a significant change in direction prior to contact.
Okay, so there's both a drop and a change of direction and mitigation. It is a high level of danger, foul play,
That's
direct
correct.
head contact.
That's correct.
It's going to be 14 against
Okay,
13.
and then number 2 blue.
That's right.
Okay,
So you're on yellow card, Chris?
thanks.
Okay.
Once again, it's going to be a yellow card. This time for the Cardiff captain.
Mate, it's similar to the one they had.
Change it around.
We were on red, it's low and a change of direction, so we're going down to yellow card, right? think it's...
Well, Sam Costelow is going to get almost immediately a shot at redemption here. Well, actually, the penalty is brought back inside his own half. So he's going to be kicking for the left-hand corner.
One and three.
Big thing now he's got to do is wipe that kick clear from his mind. He's got to be calm, make right decisions now. And that's a sign of a good turn.
We're into the final quarter of the match. Cardiff lead by 2. But now at least, Cardiff have an additional player on the pitch, but there's more green grass to be seen. Just 27 out there at the moment. Marnus Van Der Merwe there, wearing 16, presents it to Gareth Davies. That was Johnny Williams with a carry, just outside the Cardiff 22. Taine Plumtree that time.
Away blue!
Davies pops it up there to Max Douglas.
No blue! Clear release.
Well, the Cardiff defence suffocating the Scarlets, forcing them back despite the men in red being in possession. On to Plumtree once more, who takes on Ben Thomas and Callum Sheedy.
No!
That was a good carry. There is Van Der Merwe. Costelow on that time to Sam O'Connor. O'Connor,
get back, reload.
Who has seen just 18 minutes of first-team action in the last 2 seasons. Well, the little chip ahead, which was rather giving away possession by Max Page. There goes Mason Grady. Win it is Lilo. Cardiff are fully aware that there will be a period when players start coming back on, when Cardiff are actually 1 man down. And now we've got one of those Scarlets back, so it's 14 against 14. Sheedy on to Ben Thomas. He looks up, sees a bit of space over the shoulder of Ioan Lloyd. Oh, I wonder, did he knock it on? Oh, it's charged down by Thomas, and then it's fumbled, and here goes Ben Thomas, and Thomas is going to score. Well, in terms of the error count, there were so many there.
1, 2, 3. The kick was great, Philippa, wasn't it? Because it hit space. That's the key. If that goes into Ioan Lloyd's hands straight away, he's able to clear his lines.
Yeah, absolutely. To be able to find that space in behind, and then it's just poetry that Ben Thomas, with that hard work of chasing up, gets that ball back again. But when you think of how hard Cardiff had to work when they had that scrum and they had players sent off to be able to score, to then score like that so easily, that's going to be hard for the Scarlets to take.
Well, you mentioned a bit earlier, Tom, about how Cardiff maybe let themselves down a little bit last season by not achieving enough try bonus points. Well, for the 2nd straight match, they've done that here. The question is, can they hang on and actually pick up the 4 points for the win? This is a crucial kick, and Callum Sheedy has pulled it round nicely, and they now lead by 9.
He's beaming with that kick. It's awesome work there from Dan Thomas. Didn't give up the chase.
Number 12.
Well, let's go pitch side and catch up with Alex. Who have you got for us?
Who's your number 12?
Hello, guys.
Just hold on, mate.
I'm with Johnny here. Mate, obviously a bit of a slow first half. What was said at half-time in terms of the momentum going into the second half?
It was just about trying to get control, whether that's with our kicking game or trying to put some of our phase attack into it, which I think we've seen in that little play there. We got a bit of control with what we were doing, kicking, great chase, and we get a reward for it.
Was obviously Gareth in the half-time. Did he say anything about defensively? Because that was an unbelievable set to work your way up the field, just give you that opportunity with ball in hand, isn't it?
Yeah, it was just the same messages. It was about loosening, getting good width, coming off the line, getting some good line speed, and making sure we got 2 in the tackle, putting them under pressure, and that's when we come alive, when we get some transitions.
Who are the leaders out there now that are controlling things? Obviously, they were down to 13 men at the time. Who are the ones out there speaking to those young lads and getting the most out of them?
So I think obviously Belcher's captain, he's making some good messages there. Callum Sheedy, he's got a big influence on everything we do, and Elias when he was on at 9. It's just those 3 really bossing everything.
All right, mate, appreciate that. All the best. It's a big 10 minutes.
You keep them on you?
So 15 minutes for the Scarlets to turn things around. A match in which they started off so impressively. Costelow. That's a tester for Winnett. Well, he can take those all day, can't he?
Ruck! Last! No, stay there.
Every now and again, Tom, you've got to pinch yourself and remind yourself that Cam Winnett has only really been playing at this level for a little over 12 months. He's like a veteran.
Yeah, he's settled into the role so well, really composed.
Use it 9!
Brave as well, which you've got to be at 15. But he looks comfortable at this level. It's a big compliment.
Well, there's Ioan Lloyd. He'll be anxious to atone. Taken down on halfway. It's there for Gareth Davies. On to Macleod. Has done very well, Josh Macleod, the captain. The captain anxious to see out the full 80 minutes, despite this being his first game for 8 months, or 9 months in fact. There goes Wainwright. Gareth Davies.
Stop!
Costelow. Callum Sheedy read that well, calls the mark. He's got 1 or 2 calf problems. I think he's maybe getting a little bit of cramp.
Well, this will be interesting now, the last 13 minutes really of this game.
Mate, you caught it, you got to kick it.
From the onset, it was a fast game. Been a couple of periods where it's gone a little bit slow.
I saw the mark there, thanks.
But this is the sort of stuff that you can't really replicate in training as much as you want to. It's really difficult to replicate at this level of intensity.
Yep.
There'll be a few tired legs out there, and it's what team can take advantage of that.
We've got changes, 14.
So the Scarlets making alterations.
14 off.
And coming on, they've got Ellis Mee. Ellis Mee, who was playing in the Championship in England last season. Josh Macleod also comes off. He's replaced by Dan Davis. There is Ellis Mee. 7 tries for Nottingham in the Championship. Well, that line-out didn't go entirely to plan, but the Scarlets do retain possession. There's Sam O'Connor.
Away now, leave it, leave it, leave it.
The Scarlets.
Ball's out, yes.
In their own half. Oh, and Sam Wainwright has fumbled it.
Knock on.
Well, there is a brief period when they have a 1-man advantage. They can ill afford mistakes, unforced errors like that one.
Well, there's a good bit of pressure there, though, from the flanker Dan Thomas coming up.
Time is off.
He's been everywhere this game. He's really hustling.
That's not his fault, Sam Wainwright there. He's just stood there a little bit indecisive, you'd say, from Gareth Davies. Maybe a bit of lack of communication. You can just see him and Sam Costelow now having a little chat. Communication has to be so clear, so concise when it comes down to the business end of a game, which is these next 12 minutes. You just can't be gifting teams possession and territory like that.
He's all right now, right? He can play, yeah. Pleasure.
Well, Cardiff have been forced into making an alteration. It may just be a temporary one, of course, with Ioan Lloyd coming off the bench. That's to fill the gap because of the departure for 10 minutes of Liam Belcher. Camera just focusing on Cornel Funsale there, who has joined the Cardiff management team this season. So Mason Grady, if only for 2 or 3 minutes, has left us.
On my left, please. Crouch! Bind! Steady now! Sit! Keep it up! Keep it up! Keep it up! It's got 9. Stay 5.
There it is for Ellis Bevan. Sheedy sees some space. Back goes Mee, and it's Ioan Lloyd who puts it onto his left foot.
Yeah, a little bit of a net advantage there for Cardiff. Bit of space behind, just trying to split the winger in the 15.
I'm in the middle, so I need you there.
Gives them another chance to put a bit more pressure on the Scarlets.
I think Cardiff will feel if they can chart their way through this relatively brief period when they have one man down on their opponents, they will be halfway to securing what will be the full 5 points. Here's Bevan onto Mackenzie Martin.
Tackle!
The Scarlets desperate to get possession. Real pragmatism here from Cardiff. Not sure that was quite the kick he was looking for. Ball went forward though.
First knock blue, second knock on the ground red.
It's the right idea because they're down a man, but the kick wasn't great. Okay. Needs to be further.
First knock off blue.
Needs to give Cam Winnett something to chase. Just went straight up in the air, really.
Both backs must be closer, and we need to work on the height. I think everyone needs to work on the height. We're too low.
It's so hard to implement those up and unders, isn't it? When you're trying to get pinpoint accurate kick with fatigue, and then you're also asking wingers that have got a bit of fatigue in their legs to sprint and get after it.
Well, Mason Grady is back with us. Liam Belcher has stayed off the pitch, so now the alteration bringing Evan Lloyd on is now a permanent change. So it's 15 against 15 for these last 9 minutes.
Bind! Flat! Sit!
Gareth Davies, his 250th game for the Scarlets. There goes Lloyd with a little skip. Outside, and there was Blair Murray. Murray's got real pace. Well, the positioning good there from Millard.
Murray had no choice there but the kick. Cardiff just gave him the outside. Mason Grady trusts his pace. Blair Murray's fast, but you've got to be proper rapid to be able to get on the outside of him. See, they're just drifting off him a little bit. They're covered.
You're on the line. Thanks, mate. Keep them there.
There's Marnus Van Der Merwe, the former cheater, who had a brief spell at the Ospreys last season.
In the 5.
Oh, and Gareth Davies fumbles it and knocks it forward.
Over.
Sheedy with a kick ahead. Well, this is going to be a bit of a test. Ellis Bevan chased that well, but I think he perhaps had the last touch there.
It's red ball that went back off you and then went into touch.
Another error, unforced error really from Scarlets. Lost the ball. Callum Sheedy, you can see the space. Actually deflected off Scarlet's hand. A good chase from Bevan. Even though Cardiff don't have the ball, it's still a sort of saying to the Scarlets, right, you can have it in your 22. You've got to play yourself out of it.
Time back on.
Jac Price has just come on in the second row in place of Alex Craig for the Scarlets.
I'm happy with
Van
that.
Der Merwe finds Douglas. Well, in the first Welsh derby of the season, it was the Dragons who came back from being
release.
8 points down.
Inside.
With just a little over 5 minutes to go to beat the Ospreys. Scarlets have to come back from 9 points down. They have to get the next score. Here's Bevan.
Stop here, stop.
Catch there from Eddie James, who's been on a couple of minutes. James, who played for Wales in that one-off test match against South Africa in June at Twickenham. Here's Mee.
He's inside.
Well, can win it. Calling the mark. Ioan Lloyd is frustrated, but the referee confirms it was called inside the 22.
Yeah, clear tactic from Cardiff, isn't it? Any balls that they're taking in the 22, call the mark, slow it down, kick for territory.
Let's go.
What do they call a scrum, like South Africa did against France? Damien Willemse.
On the tin, Emma, on the tin.
Really slow the clock down. This is what Cardiff want. Just push them to the outside, forcing Scarlets to kick, because if they don't kick, they're going to get bundled into touch. It seems comfortable at the moment for them with a 9-point lead. Don't really need to throw the dice, don't need to take many risks. They put it sort of leaving it to the Scarlets to take the risks. They've got to do something different now to try and get themselves back into this.
In or out, where are you?
Rory Thornton coming on for Josh McNally for Cardiff. There's Taylor. Eddie James out there from Gareth Davies. Costelow. Ioan Lloyd. Here's Dan Davis, the man from Llandilo. On to Wainwright.
Go release! No, don't buy it.
We're down to the last 6 minutes. Oh, and then there's the fumble from Jarrod Taylor. I think there were one or two players who were half expecting that. And Jarrod Taylor it was in the end who lunged at it and lost it from the end of his fingers.
For me, that's been the big difference in this second half, is the amount of unforced errors that the Scarlets have had, whether it's knock-ons, drop balls. You know, to be fair to Cardiff, they've been pretty slick when they've had the ball, haven't made too many errors like that. But Scarlets must have made 4 or 5 of those in this second half. Just not clinical enough.
Okay, everyone's up, let's go, water off. Let's go, Cardiff, here's the mark, time back on. There we go. Yeah, here we go, new mark.
Let's go. Let's go, energy, come on.
Okay. Cardiff, for perhaps understandable reasons,
Close,
in no hurry at all.
Good stability.
Come on, let's. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes, let's run. Block. Second.
Sam Costelow, his first appearance of the season. He was due to play last week in Italy, but he was a little bit off colour.
Bind! Keep up! Sit!
You these guys!
Taine, let's go. Don't block! Don't block!
Sheedy, the old spiral bomb. It was well taken by Ellis Mee. Gareth Davies. Costelow. Ioan Lloyd changed the direction, goes back into the heavy traffic. There's Van Der Merwe. Off goes Taine Plumtree. He's a real athlete, is that fella, and then the offload, but it was inaccurate. Well, if he managed to get that to Gareth Davies, who knows what might have happened. Hands out! Only counter! The last 3 minutes of the match. Win it. Well, that's the pragmatic call.
That's intelligence from a young player. Showed a lot of maturity there. Have a look at this pick and go now from Plumtree. Really good, but watch his tap tackle. Ioan Lloyd just gets him. Does enough to put him off. If he goes through, it's a fairly clear pass on the inside to Gareth Davies, but he doesn't. Look what that tap tackle does. Means he stumbles, goes down, can't see where he's passing, throws an offload, which Cardiff can regather.
Callum Sheedy.
Change is being made by both sides. Taine Plumtree is on for Cardiff. There's the replacement scrum half. It's Efan Jones. Half volley collected by Blair Murray.
Okay, leave it. I'm not touching.
As things stand, the Scarlets going away with nothing. They'll want some sort of score here.
Okay, you're off now. Blue, you're off.
Costelow. Oh, inside, and there goes Ioan Lloyd.
Okay, there's no foul play. Both players slip.
Oh, Ioan Lloyd slipping. Oh, that was a great offload. Dan Davies. Here goes James, looking in both directions, but they're running out of space over on the far side.
Advantage offside.
Cardiff have come offside.
3 players offside. 18, 19, 16.
Well, this is a time
Offside.
for cool heads where the Scarlets are concerned. Well, you have to think that the 3 points...
What are you doing? Kick.
Yeah.
Post call.
Well, you maybe got a sense that Sam Costelow's first instinct, I think, was to go for touch, and then I think somebody had a word in his ear.
Yeah, they certainly did. What about this break, though? Absolutely awesome. Ioan Lloyd's been really sparky this game.
It's confirmed there is time for a restart. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
And Costelow.
That's 22.
Oh, and he's pulled it wide. And that's the second kick from what you'd have to say very kickable range that Costelow has slipped by. And that could well be the last chance of a point for the Scarlets, slipping past. So the last 30 seconds of the match, time, Philippa, to consider our player of the match.
Absolutely. You know what, in the first half, there were plenty of players that were putting up their hands, but I've chosen a player who's been consistent throughout and has typified the Cardiff defence by hustling everything. And that's your man there, right on cue, making a tackle. Dan Thomas, flanker for Cardiff, is my BKT URC player of the match.
Yeah, it's a good call. He could so easily have won it last week, couldn't he? So those new signings for Cardiff really are working well. Here goes James, the offload there to Costelow. Oh, and Plumtree it is who spills it that time. We're into the red numbers at the end of the match. And in the end, a match which started off so well for the Scarlets. They've let slip almost literally through their fingers. Cardiff, beaten twice by the Scarlets last season, have clinched the win this time. It is 2 out of 2 for the men in blue.
The score 10, final 10. The full-time score, Scarlets 15, Cardiff Rugby 24.
Well, there's the final score. Scarlets getting 2 tries very early on in the match, catching Cardiff cold, but in the end it is Cardiff who take it by 24 points to 15. Well, Mackenzie Martin, how good it was to see him back here, making his first appearance of the season. There it is. Cardiff now who will move on their next match at home in a week's time against the defending champions Glasgow, before the return fixture between these two coming just a couple of weeks apart, an almost immediate opportunity there for the Scarlets to have their revenge. And remember, they did win at the Arms Park a season ago. As for the Scarlets, well, they take on Connacht here in a week's time, so it will be disappointing, hugely disappointing for Dwayne Peel. There's something of a setback. So Cardiff, who I think many tipped to be perhaps the top Welsh team this season. Wouldn't have thought that after maybe 10 minutes here with the Scarlets starting off so well. So Cardiff, who won just 4 of their 18 league matches last season, have now won their first 2. So, new blood this season at Cardiff. A couple of them stole the show on the opening weekend, and it's been a similar story here this evening. 2 wins from 2. The dressing room for Cardiff really must be buzzing. Now, to get a sense of just how much it means to them, let's go pitch side, where Tom Shanklin is with the